Before the Second World War, seaplanes and flying boats were a vital part of aviation. They filled many roles, but today they have largely disappeared. Today float planes are popular in difficult to reach locations, yet the larger aircraft have been replaced. The USSR and Japan were two countries that held on to their water birds for longer. The Japanese SS-2 is well recognised by aviation enthusiasts. Flying boats initially had range and flexibility by being able to land on water where little to no infrastructure existed. But as more airports were constructed with solid runways, it was found that conventional aircraft started to outperform the flying boats in all meaningful categories. Floatplane fighters had an important role in the Pacific, but they were unable to hold their own against land or carrier-based fighters as they entered service. The US Navy had the Martin Mars, which took to the air in 1938 and was an impressive aircraft. It was planned to fulfill the patrol role, but found itself as a long-range transport instead. The Soviets were always on the lookout for ways to break records to show the superiority of the state. One area where this always looked attractive was flying boats. The Beriev Design Bureau was quite good at waterplanes despite struggling to get designs into service. The BE-12 Seagull was shown in 1961 and was used by the Navy. It was used for anti-submarine warfare, patrol, transport and rescue. It was also able to win some awards in the payload to height category. But it was the BE-10 that was possibly their best design. It was sleek, modern and impressive. It held several records in different categories. Despite this, it was never adopted for mainstream naval use. The Japanese SS-2 was a clever design. It was an amphibian and powered by turboprops. It had a large cargo capacity and could fly for extended hours. And its range was around 4,000 kilometres. One of the most recognisable planes still in service is the Canadair CL-215. It is powered by piston engines, and while it was designed with several roles in mind, it is as a water bomber fighting fires for which it is most well known. The Grumman G64 Albatross had a decent service. It sold very well and was designed around Wright Cyclone engines, a 1944 design which entered service to replace the much smaller and limited Goose. They were not available till the late 1940s. However, the USAF, the Navy, Coast Guard and Air National Guard would all have the Albatross in service. These amazing machines required ingenuity and creativity to work around the constraints of water operations. Yet in the end their time in the spotlight would be relatively brief.